oh, I'm fixing myself for you. And like, oh my God, you're fixing yourself for me? Then what happens when she's like, well, you know, this fixed version, this fix is taking a long time.
Are you living one of your childhood fantasies right now?
I grew up with puppets on TV. So basically, what happens when Miss Dookie bounces and says, you know what, that fix is taking too long. This one's broken even more.
Even more. Yes, even more.
Loses faith. What?
The mics are blood clot open. Check.
Select accent for the podcast.
Calvin always late.
Episode 103, the mics are open. My name's G Money.
Andy Young.
And Big C.
And we are in the building for another week of absolute madness.
Your weekly bulletin.
Huh?
The weekly bulletin.
Oh, it's a bulletin. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why the desk looks like a newsroom. Because we are your anchors of craziness in the 254, man. The mics are open. Episode 103, bro.
Yeah, man.
Do you guys
One
ever
more
watch
episode
Anchorman?
to 2 years.
Anchorman.
Yeah.
There's a show called Anchorman.
Yeah.
Was he a superhero?
No, he was actually. It's one of those comedies where this guy actually he's an anchor at a TV station. Yeah, only never
Sounds
watched
boring.
Anchorman. Anchorman 1 and 2.
Yo, shit sounds boring as hell.
No, it's actually funny.
Okay, so
Yeah, you weren't laughing when you were telling us about it, bro.
A terrible anchor who got fired, and
No, G, no. No.
Okay, continue.
yeah, so.
Yani, you woke up today in the morning and you chose violence.
Yeah,
Wow.
like it's actually not. Yeah, watch it. You'd actually like
I'll watch
it.
it. I'll watch it today instead of Champions League highlights because the match was yesterday, right? Cool. So what about? How was your week?
It's been an okay week. Let me say an okay week. Nothing much happening, and I'll take it. As you say, man, indeed above the ground is a blessing, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I've had an interesting week. I had another hospital appointment. I had a very interesting hospital appointment. So pretty much, I went to the hospital, follow up from being ill, and I had to see a new doctor.
Oh, that must.
No, because it was for something else.
Oh,
I had to see like 2 doctors, so I had to see like a new doctor, and she opened my file and she was like, "Oh my God, I expected to see somebody so sickly walk in here. You almost died." And I was like, okay.
Now you're almost dying.
She catches herself and she's like, "What? Your doctors didn't tell you?" I'm like, "No." But it made me think though. It made me think, and it's actually a good point. First of all, she said, tell everyone who watches your podcast and who listens to you on the radio that COVID-19 is real, which I'll say that. Like, she told me that's a personal message from her, the doctor. But it also made me think, are there some things in your life that you would rather not know? And let me explain. So, for example, it's like, I didn't know the gravity of my ailment or when I was sick, right? I didn't know how bad it was.
yeah.
But her coming out and saying, "Oh my God, you had this, double that, blah, blah, blah." And then I went back to like my regular doctor and he started laughing at
He's
me.
like,
He's like, the regular doctor's like, "Well, you know, how would you have benefited if you'd known?"
And that's a valid point. Very valid point.
So it made me think, are there some things in life that you'd just rather not know? Like, for example, let's say you're in love and your woman cheats. Would you just rather not know?
How many minutes in a week?
I'm talking about cheating.
Already. I thought we were gonna go with like. At some point, I have thought that maybe my family adopted me.
Adopted you?
Yeah.
No, wait. Let me ask you something first before we even proceed. Do you feel like your doctors not telling you how grave things were helped with your recovery?
At first I won't lie. At first I was a bit like, they should have told me, right? But then I was like, knowing myself,
Exactly.
had they told me,
Exactly.
panic.
That's the thing. So, to answer your question, I think I'd throw it back to whomever is on the other side of the conversation. Knowing who I am and how I am, and knowing how I'll respond and react to whatever you tell me,
Right.
you will know what to tell me and what not to tell me.
Right. But here's a question I'll ask you now. We all work in radio. Would you like to know what plans the station has for your show?
Yo, G, we signed contracts, bro.
I'm just asking you, like,
we signed contracts, bro.
How much is that's why I use that example. How much is there in knowing, and how important is it just it's a judgment call?
I feel like at some point, yes. If you can handle the truth,
right,
and if you can handle everything that comes with that information,
because I kind of think, like, and this is something I've seen in people, sometimes I think that if you don't know, you actually perform better. Pause. Like, if you don't know, like if you don't know, let's just say, for example, let me give you an example. When I used to work
if you don't know you're driving this shit.
let me give you an example. There's a time when I'll say I've only been like sacked once in my life, right? So there's a time when I was working in a record store, and
knock on wood.
Yeah, I don't like you know. Anyway, there's a time I was sacked in the UK, and
at a radio station?
No, it wasn't a radio station. It was a record store.
Okay.
And
they made you mop up the place.
So these guys at the record store, they made me clean the back of the store. And then that same night, the same evening, like they were like, like we got some people coming through from the bank. They're gonna, we're gonna get a loan because the record industry is hard. So they were like, just tidy up the back of the shop. So I'm a team player. Man, I cleaned the back. And let me tell you, the back of a record store, vinyls everywhere. This, that. I cleaned it. I cleaned the toilets around everything because someone's coming from the bank. I'm a team player. That same night, they gave me my notice.
I think the most important question is, what had you done to deserve the notice?
No, they were actually just like, it was financial times. The industry was changing. Sales weren't as good as they are, and it was last one in, first one out. And I was the last one in.
Oh, unfortunately.
Last one in, last in, first out. So
did you ever steal music?
Of course, he did.
Why are you gonna ask me that on a podcast which is viewed around the world?
If I worked at a record store,
did I ever steal from
if I worked at a record store, I'd help myself to music.
No, wait.
Music?
Did you make your own money
in a record store?
Yes, like for yourself, leave alone for your boss at the record store.
I'm willing to discuss everything on this podcast, but I'm not willing to discuss that.
The hustle is real.
Okay, cool. Let's make it lighter.
How?
What's the most memorable music item, that you stole?
I didn't steal.
Okay, let's use the term that you helped yourself to go listen to at home.
Let me tell you, I never actually stole anything from that record store. Not even one CD. However, I may have turned a blind eye to people who maybe I worked with who were less, shall we say, honest than I was. And I may have said to them, I know what's up.
Inside man.
Yo, so next time you do it, take two.
So that may have happened.
Complice.
Okay.
But you know what though?
So you're still not answering the question.
Fam, I used to get,
which is the most like...
I never stole music. Right, because by the time a song's released as a DJ, I would have the promo anyway. So I never really stole any music from anywhere that I've worked. However, it made me think that we're talking about jobs. Bruh, you know what? That was one of the best jobs I ever had. It was so simple. So before working in the record shop, I worked in advertising. And I did 6 years in advertising.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know what? I think that's why now, to this point, agency life in the 254 absolutely would tear me apart. And I remember after working in this advertising, and even in the advertising company, I had a good gig. I was that guy who would go out there and find, not clients, find sites. So for example,
this is what, out of home? Like
out of home, yeah,
okay.
And that kind of stuff. So I had it's an easy vibe. But if I talk about joy, obviously I love doing radio. But working in the record shop was absolutely one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life.
Man, just you mentioning that, it's made me think about my worst working experience.
Tell us.
Fam, I used to work for some guys who
radio
were,
station.
No. It was not
This
a
guy
radio
from the
station.
UK.
It was actually telemarketing. Bruh. So my mom's like, cool, what are you gonna do for holiday? Uni, what, before you get an attachment here. They was like, yeah, I'll go apply, go to a place that did telemarketing. First and foremost, shout out to everybody who's in telemarketing.
Hey,
you guys
hard.
do our job. So anyway, so I'm employed by these guys. They're Indians, and I walk into the office and they're like, all right, cool, this is what you're gonna do. Cold calls and tell them we're selling softwares and everything.
Right.
Bruh. First and foremost, the internet was slow as fuck.
In those days, I think everywhere the internet was slow.
Yeah, it was slow as fuck. Then they did set targets for you, right? So day 1, everything's all right. Day 2, they're like, okay, this is what you need to do. By day 3, fam, I was unwell. I didn't show up to work. Right?
Really?
Yeah. My mom's just looking at me like, hey, this nigga's not going to last at this job. Day 4,
That's what she said.
I pulled up. Day 4, I pull up. Fam, my boss passes right behind me. Guess what site I'm on? Brighter Monday.
Wow.
Yo, like I'm on Brighter
How the boss
Monday.
take that?
Yeah, at the office.
Brighter
Yo,
Monday is
it's a
site
job
for
site,
searching for jobs.
So
Yeah.
that was a Thursday. Friday I pull up. I'm excited. I'm asking guys, so what do you guys do after work on a Friday? What? They're like, alright, cool. We go do this Friday. Saturday we used to work half day. Fam, I pulled up to the office on a Saturday. They fired me.
Wow. How many times have you been fired in your life?
Just once.
Knock wood.
Yeah. That time. But
What about you, Andy?
I've never been fired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But they paid me for 4 days. And you know the craziest thing? The craziest thing, when I got fired, right? The guy who was told to come fire me was like the same, what do you call it? The same level as I was. He was in the telemarketing team. But you know what sticks with me to date is after the guy had fired me, he asked me, yo, I know they paid you. Where are we going to have drinks at?
Wow.
See, I know you fired a couple of people.
Me?
Yes.
No, in my life, I've only ever fired one person.
Your whole life.
Yeah. I've only fired one person.
And how many times have you had that conversation with someone? Like maybe as an intermediary, like maybe you've.
Like I've said, like you know, things are thick.
Yeah.
No. I've only ever fired. I've only ever said to one person, you know what, man, them it's not working out. Bye. But I've never had, because you see, I think a lot of it comes down to man management as well. Like I'm trying to say, like before somebody gets to a point where you're gonna sack them, I kind of think that as a manager, you've failed to. I mean, there are people who are crazy, who are on a path of self-destruction, right? But I think as a manager, you must be invested enough in your people to see the signs before it gets to the point of sacking someone. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Do you think we have a lot of that going on
In the 254.
in the 254?
I think honestly, when it comes to like, as you would say, man management, like in a football, I think man management in corporations is terrible. I don't think that, like, you know, I believe that a happy workforce produces more. It's like a happy cow. You know, there's some cows, you play them some music.
Yeah, they have
and
that.
they produce more milk.
More milk, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, a bit more cheese.
You know that? There's some cows that like some.
Yeah, they actually do that practically.
Like, so I think that if you have a happy workforce, your workforce is going to produce more. And there are so many elements to happiness because, fam, I'm not trying to say that you get into people's business, yeah? But if I'm managing you, I must know a little bit about what's going on in your life. Because at the end of the day, it's like people are facing all of these demons in these battles and you expect them to come and give you 100%. And nobody can give you 100% if they're not feeling, you know, upwards of 80, 90%. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I think it goes both ways, right? And I think something else that a lot of people never really ask themselves is you pull up to an office and every single day you're pulling up to an office, but after a week, do you know what the company, what do you call it? Like, what's the company, I'm looking for the term.
Culture?
Yeah. There's some places where it's just vibes and inshallah. So you're just
But I've worked in companies that have been very laissez-faire, I mean very.
We're not really meddling shifting you
and
here, there.
output has been amazing. And I've also worked in companies where everything is like micromanaged and output is whack.
Yeah.
So I guess it works both ways, man.
It's very interesting. Yeah. Human resource.
Human resources. There you go.
Yeah, we need to have a serious conversation about work. Just one episode.
Did you do that? Unit? Organizational behavior.
Wait, are you guys talking
organizational
about,
psychology.
Wait. Is this like a university thing?
Yeah. Everybody.
Stop. Let me lean back.
No, like what happens is this, right? Basically, for whatever, and I stand corrected, but what I know is this: it's one of those units in uni that's a common unit,
right?
So everybody's taught that, because I mean, you're going to leave school, be assimilated into some workforce, what. So they have that.
Yeah, but honestly, like half the stuff that you learn at university, and especially in terms of corporate stuff, like workplace stuff, how much of that is actually applied?
They should introduce like a unit in uni called Bribery 101.
At least it would be like relatable.
Yeah, like,
but maybe not in the workplace, but like elsewhere.
But it's interesting we're having this conversation about school, because you had the same in the morning on air, and now that we're talking about this, you asking how much of what you learn in school do you get to apply out here? Allow me to say this. I don't care how precise the syllabus is,
right,
with regards to you must students must be equipped with these skills and this knowledge,
right.
At the end of the day, it's the messenger who's delivering the message. That's and important. What they come with.
AKA the teacher.
AKA the teacher. For example, the same unit Calvin is talking about, organizational psychology. The lecturer who taught me that unit went beyond the syllabus.
Right.
You know, sometimes just close the books. Let's talk. Let me tell you guys what actually goes on in the office, in the workplace. You know, the politics is mad. It's whatever you're seeing on the textbook, it's all good and everything, but things are different on the ground.
Right.
Now you see, that lecturer is opposed to someone who will just come, give you whatever is required and then go back home.
I agree with you. And, you know, further to that, the conversation we were having this morning was along the lines of, name one subject that you're convinced that a teacher made you fail.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, like, I think personally, I think I was blessed with some amazing high school teachers. And I think, obviously, I went to day school, that there's less pressure on the teachers. They can go home and see their spouses at night and all that stuff. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But I kind of think that, like, if you're in an environment where you're a teacher and you have to, because teachers stay at the school as well, right?
Some
do, some go home.
Yeah.
Right, so some stay at the school. If you're in that space where you're the teacher who's got to wake up these kids with morning prep, or I don't know if teachers do that. I don't know if they do
the
that.
teacher on duty. It used to be a rotation thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to go through all of this stuff. At the end of the day, like, I think that I don't think teaching is something that you just study. I think there are born teachers.
Yes.
You see, like, for example, like Messi's a dope footballer, but a lot of Messi's ability is innate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
You're born with it, yeah.
Else if Messi could be, if how Messi plays could be taught to every footballer, then every footballer would play like Messi, isn't it?
True.
So I think for some teachers, like, I was blessed at school with some teachers who actually cared about education. You see what I'm trying to say? So it was never just books. It was more about life skills and improving you as a person. Apart from my economics teacher, Miss Davidson, who came to class and told us, hey, when you get older and you get married, don't have a helper in your house, don't have a housey, because she's going to kill your kids. That's what she told us. Stupid bitch.
Jesus Christ.
That
for me was my... Okay, no, proceed.
Man. You know what? I went to
this was the kind of
kids. Like, what happened?
I went to A levels. I went to A levels excited about economics,
and then she killed it.
She killed it, bruv. Like, I went to A levels and I did economics, literature, English history, and West Indian history. Four things I loved. Like, I focused from O-level economics. I was like, yo, I'm gonna ace these things, bro. I got a U, ungraded. for economics. Ungraded. Because I went in the exam, I wrote my name on the paper, and I left. I had no clue. She stole my dream.
Wow.
She told me the house
single-handedly.
The house help is gonna leave the gas on in your house and kill you at night.
And that
Did you just
disturbs
hear
you.
that?
Jesus Christ.
They stole the dream from G. Imagine G as central bank governor, you in a suit every single day.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
But for me, it was my
But you know
French
what?
teacher.
You know what? Growing up though, I thought I was gonna work. I thought I was gonna work corporate.
Yeah?
Same here.
I really thought I was gonna work
Man.
corporate. Like, I thought I was
Where?
gonna be that guy in a suit, tie, in the city, doing all of that stuff. It just wasn't in my destiny, bro.
For, you know, it's
'Cause I just hated it.
It's funny that we're talking about all of this, man. You know, as life progresses, you just think about like corporate stuff. It's good to some point, but god damn it, self-employment is it.
Yeah, man. The hustle factor.
That's where it's at.
Bam!
That hustle factor. I mean,
Bro.
Isn't it harder to be self-employed
you work harder.
Yeah.
than to be employed?
You work harder when you're self-employed because at the end of the day, if I'm working on my shit, I'm gonna work on my shit harder than most people will tell you when they go into entrepreneurship and self-employment. No days off.
No days off.
Because when
there's nothing like
Exactly.
a Saturday or Sun. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you're strategizing 24/7. But I think what happens with self-employment is when you get to that point where things are right.
Yeah.
There's a sense
are
of
right.
achievement and accomplishment that you cannot get from working for somebody
Bro,
else.
let me tell you, and this is especially for a lot of people. I saw this, and I think I should share this with people. It's either at the place that you're working right now, it's either they're paying you a ton or you're learning something. If you ain't getting one of those, get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's true.
But where do we strike the balance? Where do we harmonize this? Because maybe I'm cornered, bro, and I need this.
No, but here's
Maybe.
the thing. Here's the thing, and that's actually a good angle because there's a lot of people who are probably watching saying, "But we don't have the option
Yeah.
to just do this or just leave here."
Yeah.
But I think end of the day, and I've said this to many people, even in conversation, if you have a dream for yourself, right, you should look at your job as your means to get to that dream. So, for example, if you have a dream to, I don't know,
Operate a bus company.
a bus company,
Yeah.
yeah, and let's say you're a radio presenter. All you want to do is get the dreams from here
To buy one
to
bus.
transfer to get into that dream. So I always look at employment as your means to get into towards your dreams. You get
Yeah.
me?
And
And if you're getting paid a shitload of money, like, then why wouldn't you? You know what I'm trying to say?
You get, because you see at the end of the day, Andy, especially for young guys, right? You don't want to spend some of the most productive years that you have just getting a skill. You eventually get to that place. It's called what? A black ceiling, right? Cool, you're good. Then have these guys, what do you call it? Have they appraised you as you should be? No, they haven't. So you've spent some of the most productive years
Working for other people.
Working for other people. But is this shit reflecting on the other side? No. So you see, it has to be one of those things where a lot of people always struggle to get to that point. And when they do, they have a couple of months or years where they're just like, man, things were a bit rough. But coming out of that, they're so happy. They're so content.
Yeah, man.
You get-
And I think, I also think the further you get on in your career,
Yeah.
you just get to a point where it's just like, you know what? I just want peace of mind, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's where I am right now. I'm so zen. I see so much, sometimes I see so much chaos around me. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not getting involved in it.
It's true, detached.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
just
like completely
completely detached. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
That's the energy.
All right, we spoke a lot about work. We must, like you said, we must really do a workplace conversation. And you know what else as well? Let me just grab the bull by the horns. I'm gonna invite Neville onto the podcast really soon as well because I feel like we need to have a conversation with Nev.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing it out there. I know he's gonna watch this. So very soon on the podcast, we're gonna have Neville on the podcast, former colleague but a really good friend of ours.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a conversation.
It's my brother right there, man.
That's my brother right
Yeah.
there. Or is that
Shout
my
out to
son?
Nev.
Which one? Son or brother? There you go, man.
All of them.
All right, let's kind of flip the script right now, and to prove that we do actually plan for this podcast, someone's dropped a question in the group today or in the group this week, and it says, How do you balance between not caring what people think about you and having a good reputation? Whoever's dropped that.
Say again. How do you
balance not caring what people think about you and having a good reputation? I love that.
That's a great question.
Who said that? Like you just random conversation?
Yeah.
Did that come from your heart?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you worried about that? You conflicted?
No.
Do you want to lead on that?
It's one of those crossroads. It's like let me present another analogy to help explain it better. It's like I'm caught up in between saving money and enjoying life because I might die tomorrow.
Right, okay.
It's the same crossroads. So we live in a universe where people for a long time have been caring so much about what people say about them out there.
Right.
And that's resulted to a lot of mental health issues.
100%.
And we haven't even brought in social media. Now, as Andy Young, there's how I am, there's the way I live my life. And there's those things I know about me that are core to me.
Right.
And I want to stick to that.
Okay.
But now, say society and the universe, for me to get to where I want to go, and I mean I'm in this universe here, there's times I have to abide by the laws
of society or expectations of society
and expectations of society to get to where I want.
Right.
And that means there's bits of me in the process that won't be authentic.
Right.
But where do I draw the line? Because that's where I want to go, and this clearly is the path for me to get there. But is it going to be worth it for me to get to my end goal? What are these people gonna say about me? What are they gonna think about me? This is how they've set things up. I need to get through this. I need to maneuver through these things.
Right. I think that's a really good really, really good question. And I think it's something that, like you said, many people will struggle with. Yeah. Because it's like, when you think about it from the perspective of expectations of society, especially, and if you're in the creative field or in the field that we're in, it's like sometimes, and we see it every time, how sometimes you meet someone and they expect you to be the biggest party animal. Like, one of the things that, like, for me, people think that my life is turned up from 6 a.m. till midnight. Because the bits of me that you see are the guy on the radio, then you see the guy who's in the club.
Yeah.
You see the guy who might be filming the podcast or doing something. So this guy's life must be turned. If they realize how many down moments were in that process, you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I believe that in order to survive, you almost have to have a split personality. And the way how I've always explained it is this, right? I've always said to myself that G Money is a brand, and I'm blessed enough to manage that brand, right? So in managing that brand, we work hard. I work hard. We work hard. We create things, because G Money is a person who likes to create. So, for example, G Money just wants to create cool things with his friends. That's the brand ideal, right? But beyond that, there's a lazy motherfucker called Conrad who don't like to do shit. But guess what? The beautiful thing about it is Conrad lives his life away from every other thing. You get me? So I think you have to say to yourself, in order to get that balance, what part of myself am I willing to give? And what part of myself am I keeping back? And I think what happens with many people is that they confuse it and they feel like they have to give everything. You get me? I'm not G Money 24 hours a day. Like, you guys know me. When you came into the studio today, I was in such a bad mood that I was walking around. People don't see that shit. Well, not usually. People don't see that side of me.
Do you care what people think about you?
At this point of my life, no. And the reason is because I think, you see, even in the court of, like, say, public opinion or whatever, right? If you look at every stage of my career so far, yeah, I no longer think I have anything to prove. So anything that I have left to prove is such a personal goal. I have to prove to myself. I don't have to prove to you that I can sustain. a career in radio, I used to worry about it. I used to say to myself, man, am I going to be able to do radio for like the whole of my life? Like how these white people in the UK do it. I've done it. Well, for the thus far.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? But now I've got to turn around and prove stuff to myself. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's that balance. And I think as you get, the more you're in this industry or in any industry, the more thick-skinned you become and the less reactive you become as well, you know?
Now, allow me to present a counter argument, for lack of better word. And I think you guys can help me, you know, beef up this analogy, or it's a lesson that I got. In campus, there is a lecturer who used some chapter from 48 Laws of Power. Is there a chapter on reputation law?
Yes.
Yes, from
reputation.
Yes. There's a king who was feared to a point where he used to play with people's minds because they have this perception of him, such that he had war, and all he decided to do was just go and stand someplace close to the gate where everybody could see him if you're coming, you know, into, you know, or the area where they were gonna fight, the war zone. And the enemies actually came, and they saw him standing there solo, no one else, solo. They were like, we are not dumb. There could be trap. There was no trap. There was no nothing. The man just stood there. But because of his reputation,
okay,
them niggas didn't even approach. They didn't even attack.
Right.
They went back home.
Okay.
Now, she used this to explain how important reputation is to anyone.
Yeah. Reputation is like,
very important.
It's important. Like, you know, a good reputation is worth more than, there's a proverb that says a good reputation is worth more than money.
Yeah.
But my thing about, my analogy is always going to be, like, at the same time, are you going to live your life? And it's a decision you make. Are you going to live your life? Because your reputation can be built upon your actions.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? And then that story of the king is a great analogy. He had a great reputation. But he was still a human. He was still, like, he probably still had, I don't know, French toast for breakfast or something. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, his outward reputation, it depends on how much of yourself you're going to put out there, I think.
You know, ultimately, you guys have made some good valid points. Huh? I think the one thing in this industry, other industries, and in life, right? All boils down to happiness, fam. You get? Because you may be doing this because you want to show people that I care a lot about what you guys think about me. But are you happy? You get? Because at the end of the day, imagine you're blessed enough to be 90, right? And you're just thinking to yourself, man, I did all that shit for everybody to just do this and to show them this and that.
And now here I am at 90, like whatever.
Like,
you raised a good point, Andy, and you both raised good points about reputation. And I'll give you an example from my own life. There's a time when this was, I think I've told you the story before, Calvin, where I got broke, completely broke when I was in the UK.
You've actually said it on a podcast.
I said it before, yeah?
You're on a podcast.
Yeah, where I got completely broke, and when I went to people for help, you know, your G money.
Can't be broke.
You can't be broke.
There's money in your name.
There's money in your name. And guys laughed it off, and I went to people who I had helped.
Yeah.
And they didn't help me, right? I remember I went to like a client and he gave me £1,000, and I've said this story before. I went to a printer. In those days, there's no social media. I went to a printer and I printed 5,000 flyers. When the printer guy said, where's, like, you know, this is going to cost you £800, whatever, I said to him, I'll pay you after the event. He's like, cool. I went to a club. I booked the club. Usually you got to pay a deposit for the club. I said to the club guy, I'll pay you on the night. DJs, I went to the DJs. I booked the DJs and I was like, yo, I'm booking you for this event.
I'll pay you.
Like, where's the deposit? I'm like, I'll pay you on the night. My reputation enabled me to put all those things
together.
And
But you had to follow through.
And the event took place, made a lot of money. I was able to get back on my feet, and I was able to pay everybody what they were due. So in that regard, reputation,
very important.
There was everything. You get me? But at the same time, I still was able to go home after that event to my home and to my people and be like, yo, it worked. People don't need to see that side of it. You get what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So the balance has to be struck between your, I guess, professional shit, your career shit, giving people what they need. And you know, honestly, in this industry, I've seen the happiest people are the people who just keep them shit to themselves. Yeah. They go out there, they drop a job, they do their job, they go home.
Simple.
You know? So it's a great question.
You know,
and it's different for everyone. The answer's different for everyone.
I like how you've said that, G. You didn't have to show everybody what the actual situation was like. Yeah. You know, in that same 48 laws of power, there's one that says, do something so good, but also make it look easy.
Yeah, that's. But you know, that 48 laws of power actually fucks with people as well. It's both sides.
It's a very...
Because if the wrong person reads that book,
Jesus,
it could
game over.
Screw them up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God!
Look at us talking about books on the podcast, man.
We're back there.
Who are we?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I know it's a thing, especially with the age of social media, where a lot of people are always in your space. People will have an assumption of you. People will talk about you, especially if you're in the public light. You'll always hear something about yourself. You're actually even shocked. You're like, oh, okay. You get, but yeah, man, just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. So, I see something else here. A damaged man willing to fix himself for you. This is from a tweet from someone called Makaya. A damaged man willing to fix himself for you.
So I assume this is a man who's accepted that I am damaged and I want to fix myself for you.
It's gonna end in heartbreak.
Premium. The premium.
So the guy's not even fixing himself
for himself.
For him.
He's fixing himself for her.
And do you know the saddest thing?
God.
In the comment section, all the babes were celebrating like, yes.
Are you for real?
Oh, hell.
Bro.
That is so fucking selfish.
Let me tell you.
Right?
Let's talk about this, right?
Jesus.
First of all, I watched an interview on TV the other day. And this famous YouTuber in the UK, she was talking about how she was broken inside, but nobody could see and all of that stuff, right? And it's like the impression she gave of men generally is that we're all just broken biscuits. You know, like you have a biscuit tin
with a couple of broken ones,
and you drop it, and all the biscuits, or a packet of biscuits
everywhere.
And it really made me think that at the end of the day, it's like
I want biscuits so bad.
Everything.
At least they get eaten. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
We got cut off. Sorry.
All right, it's fine. It's okay. There you go. Eat the biscuit. Eat the cookie. Yeah. Eat the cookies. So yeah. So it's like I see a society where everybody is broken. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like there's no whole people out there no more because it's like this tweet is saying a damaged man who's willing to fix himself for you. Who the fuck are you?
No, but okay, let me play devil's advocate, yeah?
Nah, fuck.
Oh, no. Hold up. No one is perfect, but there's people who are better placed in life to handle things better than the rest. So, you coming here with your unresolved issues, with trauma you haven't even dealt with, and I have put in the work. I've dealt with my trauma. I've dealt with my issues. I've put in... Hey, hold up. You'll get your chance, bro. So I have put in the work. I am okay. I'm a bit more stable than you are. So I fixed me for me. And anybody else who associates with me is going to benefit from that, including my significant other. As opposed to, damn, I need to fix this for you? Bomboclat.
Let me ask you a question. What I'm saying to you is this, right? Very simple. You fixed you because you have the capacity.
Yeah.
And you were cognizant of the issues, fam. No two people are the same, and the rule book that worked for you may not necessarily work for somebody else. So my thing about it is, it's like in life, in my own experiences, and you know, it's not directly opposed to what you're saying, bruh. People need to fix themselves, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
People need to fix themselves.
This is such a selfish mentality.
I have a friend who's a really good friend of mine, right? A really good friend of mine here in the 254. And I've decided that their bullshit, and it's a group of friends, their bullshit or what they get involved in, I'm no longer actually going to actively try to help. Because I realized that what was happening is this person will throw themselves off the roof, not literally, off the edge, because they know there's 5 people around them who's going to run downstairs to catch them. Sometimes a nigga got to hit the ground and realize this ain't nice.
Let the ship sink sometimes, bro.
Sometimes it's got to happen. Like, there's a song that... I don't know how I came across it. You know, when you're sick in hospital, like you get very religious.
You're in your sick bag.
You're in your sick bag. And there's a song by Kiera. It's a gospel song, and it's called "Something Has to Break."
Oh yeah, you played it in the moment of meditation.
And let me tell you, I feel that song to my core.
It was shouting.
It was shouting.
Yeah, bro. It was shouting.
Something has to break.
Yeah.
So in order for you to get sometimes to the next stage of your evolution as a human, something has to break.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, I'm not trying to say that you don't try to help people, but that tweet to me was so self-aggrandizing, like, he's willing to fix himself.
For me?
Huge.
And it's been romanticized, bro.
Yeah,
You should have gone through the comment. I was on the floor.
This is the kind of things that are making guys also start to think, okay, cool. You know what? This is the person I need so that I can become a better person of myself. You understand? Makes people get confused.
Yeah.
But bruh, no. Listen, if you're a man, a lady, and someone's proposing this shit to you, just sit them down, buy them coffee,
and say, go fix your shit.
and just be like,
If anything is conditional,
sort
it's
yourself
toxic.
Yeah.
out.
And also,
If it's conditional, it's gonna be toxic,
I'm
bro.
not saying that we shouldn't care about each other, because we evidently should. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about the people you become entangled with. You should care. Why are you laughing at the word entangled?
It's
I
gross.
mean, entangled, not like August Alsina and what's her name? Jada. No, the people who come into your life. But what I am saying is, essentially, at the core of everything, you know where the broken pieces of you are. Only you can go.
You know where
and
the
find
basement
them.
at.
You know where the basement of your own life is
Yeah.
at. Only you can go down there and clear out the garbage. People can help you, but people should not see you fixing yourself as something that you're doing for them.
Yes,
They
that's the
should
one.
see it as something you're doing. And there are people who are in relationships with people who are trying to fix themselves, and you can support them. But ultimately, that fix is to make you a better person, not just because what's going to happen now? If I base my being fixed on, if Panda,
Is a person,
see, that's why we have props on set. If Panda
and poo.
fixes himself for Dookie, Miss Dookie here, and it's like, oh, I'm fixing myself for you. And it's like, oh my God, you're fixing yourself for me? Then what happens when she's like, this fixed version, this fix is taking a long time.
Are you living one of your childhood fantasies right now?
I grew up with puppets on TV. So basically, what happens when Miss Dookie bounces and says, you know what, that fix is taking too long. This one's broken even more.
Even more. Yes, even more.
Loses faith. What?
He threw himself off.
Can you throw the Panda back onto the set, please? That is disrespectful. You do not.
But that's
For those who are listening, Calvin just threw the Panda across the room. That's why didn't you
It's the disrespect he threw it to him, bro.
But this one left.
been wanting to do
she
that.
Went on to the same, to some other scenario. This one's left crying. And then he's like,
Yeah, don't ever throw the Panda, yeah?
Panda died.
The 4th member of the podcast. There you go. But yeah, for real though. So I think at the end of the day, and I don't know Andy, how you feel about that, Calvin. I think that like
No. But that's
we
the
have
truth.
to fix
That's the
ourselves.
truth.
We can
Yeah,
help
yeah.
people, and we can we can be not a mirror, or we can help people and say, this is what you need to work on.
No.
When I was young, I think I've done that thing. Maybe we call it 22, 23, that kind of shit. A chick is trying to tell you this and this about you, and you're like, no, but I can do it for you. I can do it for you, and you're they're doing something for someone, bro, that shit is enslavement, bro. Let me tell you. But once you discover that, hey, listen, I want to do this for me, that whole, I'm answerable to me. Like, this is me. You ain't gonna attach shit to it.
Yeah.
But there's another side to this coin, and I've been guilty of this before, being an enabler. You know, because here in front of you is someone you really care about, and they really it's twisted because in some way you kind of motivate them to want to be better, and that's what they show you. Like, you make me want to become a better person. And you can see them actively working on the things that are bringing them down. But then at the same time, you're caught in between. I don't want them to do that for me. I want them to do that for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of working out for them. Because you see them improving right in front of your eyes. So you seeing that, you lose sight you lose sight of the fact
Friendship
that...
blinds you.
Bro, leave alone even in relationships, even in romantic relationships, bro. It can get really bad as an enabler.
Yeah. I have learned, I will say that I've learned, it's not something I knew 10 years ago. I think that I've learned that, guess what? I see people now for exactly who they are. And I have a choice to make whether I am going to play an active role or enable them, so to speak, or I'm just gonna be like, okay, so. And I've learned, fam, let me tell you, and I've learned this in the workplace, and I've worked this. If you keep rescuing people, they never learn. It's like, if you think about it, if you work in an office where let me just be fair with you, fam. Everything that used to happen in the office, somebody would call me, they'd come, they'd say, gee, this is happening, that is happening. And then not just since we've been part of this new company, even like way back in the day. Do you know how wearying that was to me? Do you know how hard it was for me to listen to everybody's problems and try to find solutions for them? Man would come home mentally exhausted. Then I realized, guess what? When I started to say, there's nothing I can do, it's not my problem, or not so much not my problem, I'm sorry, my hands are tied, or you need to go and speak to this person. When I started to pull myself out of that of trying to fix everything, bro,
bliss.
I had time to go to the gym. I had time to do shit. I went home, I slept amazingly. We spend so much of our lives trying to prevent people from hitting the ground. Sometimes they need to hit the ground.
Let them.
And
they
bounce back.
Facts.
You know, that's the way I feel, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm never gonna help someone, but end of the day, I'm beyond babysitting anybody at this point in my life. I'm sorry.
That shit's deep. Let me ask you guys, do you have snacks here?
Are you hungry?
I am.
Man's on munchies, bro.
No, it's not munchies, bro. I am.
Like, not that kind of munchies.
My body's craving for like.
You must be pregnant. Shout going out to Paula's Fit Kitchen. Let's give her a plug. Yeah. Paula's Fit Kitchen. So Paula, she has this thing, and we put her on the screen before, haven't we? Shout out to Paula. So. Yeah. She basically, I get my food from her. Grouchy gets his food from her as well, and she's doing an amazing job. So your cravings. None of us here are hungry. Your cravings are your cravings. That sounds like a you problem. Once upon a time, I would go into like Glovo and be like, let me order some cookies so that whatever. But now,
but the crazy thing is this. I am actually... What
how you
it works.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
No, the craziest thing is I'm actually not hungry. I am actually looking for a snack.
Hey fam, me I'm famished.
Like
you're famished, Venant, right?
Like
you just ate.
Like I'm looking for
what fruits?
Like food. Here's the thing.
Are you growing?
My sugar is actually fucking low.
So
why?
go and eat sugar then. Anyway,
that's what I want.
This has been the mics are open. I will not allow this to denigrate into who's not eating.
Do you
or
have
what's
biscuits though?
No.
How the fuck don't you have biscuits?
I'm trying to cut sugar out my diet.
He's a broken biscuit.
A broken biscuit.
Hold up, do you have peanuts?
No.
There's peanut butter though.
There's ice cream.
There's peanut butter.
There's ice cream in the freezer, by the way. This has been the mics are open. My name is G Money.
Andy Young.
Big C. I need biscuits. I'm actually fucking craving biscuits.